Ladies and gentlemen, the Provost of New York University, David W. McLaughlin.
Here now, in this historic setting, in the presence of candidates for academic recognition, members of the faculty and administration, alumni, trustees, honored guests, and friends of New York University, the 176th Commencement is hereby convened. Even as we celebrate this grand occasion in the life of New York University. Even as we celebrate, is it on?
Even as we celebrate this grand occasion in the life of New York University, we are mindful of the massive devastation on the far side of our globe. Please join us in a moment of silence in memory of the thousands of lives lost these past weeks in Myanmar and China. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the national anthem led by NYU graduating students Brittany Cornelius, Katie Gassert, and Kira Halbersleben of the Tisch School of the Arts.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the
Ladies and gentlemen, Chair of the Board of Trustees of New York University, Martin Lipton.
As chair of the New York University Board of Trustees, I have the honor of greeting all of you, honorees, graduates, parents, family, and friends. Welcome to the 176th commencement of New York University. Today is a momentous day in your lives, and it is made all the more special because you, the members of the class of 2008, are now forever bound in a long and proud tradition of excellence, reaching back to our founding in 1831. In 1831, NYU's first entering class had 108 students. Today, we stand as the largest private university in the nation, an institution with 50,000 students strong, with a campus that occupies 6 major centers in Manhattan and more than 30 study abroad locations, including Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Our university is deeply engaged in building a global university for the 21st century. Interconnected campuses on 5 continents, stretching from Washington Square to Madrid, to Accra in Ghana, to Abu Dhabi, to Shanghai, to Buenos Aires. Its faculty and students will have ever-increasing options to engage with other peoples and cultures through teaching and study abroad. Indeed, to become in and of the world. Yet with all these advances, the university has remained true to our founders' vision to be a private university in the public service. Throughout its history, NYU has served Greenwich Village, New York City, and in ever-increasing ways, the entire world. We thrive in a city that serves as a global crossroads, a city generally enriched by the infusion of peoples and cultures, which we in turn proudly reflect in our university. Today, as we honor our graduates, we will also recognize individuals who have made exceptional contributions in their respective fields by conferring 5 honorary degrees and by presenting the Rudin Award. The trustees extend warmest congratulations to all of our graduates in the class of 2008. We wish you good luck and Godspeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, member of the Board of Trustees and Chair of the Trustee Committee on Alumni Affairs and University Life, H. Dale Hemmerdinger.
Congratulations, you made it! At Yankee Stadium! Commencement Day brings us together in grand celebration of our past and joyful anticipation of our future. On this, the most memorable day of our academic calendar. And so, we are proud to pay special tribute to our NYU alumni, over 360,000 strong, who live in all 50 states and in 180 foreign countries. As we do so, we salute our brand new graduates sitting here, who now enter those ranks ready to render their own distinguished and devoted service to our alma mater. In honor of the class of 2008, we are delighted to single out two very special individuals to symbolize all those who have gone before you. They represent an NYU family of 4 generations. Here with us are H. Gladys Baum Blumenthal and Irving Blumenthal. Their granddaughter, Alexandra Stern, will today receive her undergraduate degree from the Leonard N. School of Business. Moreover, Alexandra follows in the footsteps of her great-grandfather, David Baum, who received his own degree in business in 1912, 96 years ago. Please, everyone, join me in saluting H. Gladys Baum Blumenthal, the School of Commerce of 47, and Irving Blumenthal, College of Dentistry, class of 45. Now, I have the great pleasure of offering a cinematic tribute to the class of 2008 in the form of a marvelous film featuring a graduating student from each of our schools and some very special alumni and friends who want to express warm greetings and congratulations to the class of 2008 at New York University. Please direct your attention to the Diamond Vision screen behind me. Congratulations and welcome to alumni, class of 2008. You made it!
My name is Kate Otto, and I'm at the College of Arts and Science.
My name is Sivian Mystery, and I go to Stern.
My name is Brent Black, and I'm from Tisch School of the Arts.
I go to NYU School of Medicine. We don't actually use this for anything.
I'm a JD student at the School of Law.
The Wagner School of Public Service.
NYU College of Nursing.
The NYU College of Dentistry.
The School of Continuing and Professional Studies.
The Silver School of Social Work.
And I'm from Gallatin.
I'm a PhD student at the Institute of Fine Arts.
And I'm a graduate of the Steinhardt School.
I'm very excited to finally be finished.
You've grown, you've changed in the past 4 years, you've become adults. Some of you have reverted to children.
We are of all ages, from places all over the world.
Some of us graduate and we're doctors and lawyers, and some of us write musicals.
You've studied, you've procrastinated, you've sat around and argued the same point over and over again.
It's been an amazing adventure.
One of my favorite memories definitely has to be the first time I picked up a needle and actually injected it into a real human being.
The All University Games this year when we totally dominated the rest of the school.
All the internships that Gallatin let me do.
The most exciting part about NYU experience is receiving the bill. Really get your heart racing.
My favorite experience at NYU is getting to work at a baseball agency and representing one of the players that Yankee fans know pretty well, Mr. David Ortiz.
I really wish it didn't have to end.
It all went by in a blink. I think I'm going to miss the challenge. I'm going to miss the structure.
I'm going to miss my fellow classmates. I mean, I think I've learned so much from the people that I've been to school with.
I'm going to miss my friends.
The 15-hour days with all of my friends making movies.
I will definitely miss all those college football games.
I'm really going to miss the smell of the Institute of Fine Arts. All the old upholstery and the tapestries.
One thing I'm definitely going to miss is all the free food that we're getting here at Stern.
I think I'm going to miss having so damn much to do. Can I swear?
I'd like to really thank my family for their support.
So my mom, my dad, and my sister.
All of our professors, our friends.
New York City, the village, for putting up with us.
All of them have done so much for me and taught me so much throughout the past 4 years.
I think all graduates of NYU this year should be so proud to be walking away today with a diploma from this institution.
You've learned a lot in the past 4 years. You're pretty ready for the world, and you have a great set of friends behind you, so never forget that.
I hope everybody finds what's right for them, no matter where you are in your life and where you are in your career.
Because life is too short to be doing something that you're not 100% passionate about.
The education you're leaving with is a gift, and use it well. Never, ever cop out and underestimate the power that you have to make an enormous difference.
Now that we have the tools, let's go change the world.
I went to NYU for much of my education. I learned to stay forever hungry to learn more, to not be afraid to try and to fail. And I learned to appreciate how collaboration and sharing are as much a part of learning as individual talent or genius. I learned how much there was I didn't know, and I learned to enjoy the pleasure of asking and trying and testing.
It's simply a matter of giving back. I've been fortunate, I've been successful, and then I go, well, where would I like to direct this giving back? And to me, the very obvious choice was NYU. It's part of my heart.
NYU is something that is near and dear to my heart. My mother graduated from NYU in 1929, and I have a daughter who's a student at NYU. So they certainly have changed my life, and I suppose you can give them credit for me being mayor. After all, if they hadn't educated my mother, who knows what she would have done? Probably not met my father, and I wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't have this mayor to kick around anymore.
When I came to NYU, I came to a very different kind of campus. And it was exciting to me that our teachers would send us out into the city to go to different lectures, to see different concerts, performances, and to bring that information back into the classroom. And I think NYU is definitely a university without walls, and the city is the campus of NYU. How rich is that for young people?
Well, I've been most fortunate in my life, and part of my good fortune was coming to America, coming to NYU. The school has changed to being a national and international school and acquiring a reputation. I notice the New York Times likes to quote some professor. It used to be professor from Columbia. Now it's mostly from NYU.
The school was so important to me, it changed my whole life.
Education is critical, and today's graduates are armed with the best of the best. Congratulations to all of you, and I am wishing you only the best in the coming years as you begin yet another new era of your life. Congratulations.
I have a lot of pride in being affiliated with NYU, because I've been affiliated with NYU during this period where they turned an enormous corner. And they went from being a really, really, really good school to becoming what they are now, which is a great school.
Congratulations, class of 2008.
Congratulations.
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 I just want to say congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations and best of luck.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, the class of 2008.
Seriously, congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deborah A. Lamorde, Senior Vice President for University Development and Alumni Relations.
I would now like to ask Trustee William C. Rudin to escort the 2008 recipient of the Louis Rudin Award to the lectern and join President John Sexton for the presentation. The Rudin Award is presented to an individual whose exemplary achievements in the public realm reflect and advance the extraordinary spirit of Louis Rudin, quintessential New Yorker, distinguished alumnus, valued trustee, and devoted friend of New York University and New York City.
Defensive captain, exemplar, and for us today, representative of the 2008 Super Bowl champions, our New York Giants. You are recognized by all as a defensive end extraordinaire and one of the finest players
in NFL history. Your accomplishments as an athlete and those of your teammates bring great honor and pride to all New Yorkers, and I might add, all thinking people. Your own professional achievements are unsurpassed, with a record 141 sacks in over 200 games during a 15-year career. You have been named the Giants' most valuable player twice and the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. You helped lead the Giants to one of the most significant upsets in Super Bowl history, bringing victory rightfully to New York City and inspiring celebrations throughout the 5 boroughs and the world. You also serve our city as a volunteer, as a supporter of HELP, a nonprofit organization that helps people return to the workforce, as host of an annual golf outing for the support of Children's Advocacy Network, raising funds to improve children's welfare in East Harlem and the South Bronx, and as a participant in the Giants' many charitable activities touching the lives of countless New Yorkers. In recognition of your many achievements and contributions to New York City, as a champion both on and off the field, and in recognition of your teammates, our championship Giants, we proudly present to you this day the Louis Rudin Award for exemplary service to New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Strahan.
Hello. Well, first of all, I want to thank President Sexton, of course, New York University, and the Rudin family. Thank you very much. Now, I've been in a lot of big situations. I know what it's like to be a New York Giant. I thought that was great. But to be a NYU, New York University Giant, nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. Now, it was a great season for the Giants, you know, obviously. And but most of all, I think for us as players and athletes, it was a great year for the city of New York. Just to see the adulation and just excitement on everybody's faces when we had the opportunity to overcome some incredible odds. And you know, in life, and what I learned through a little game called football is that you have to have perseverance, you have to have commitment, you have to have discipline, you have to be willing to work hard and grind out some situations where sometimes it doesn't look like you stand a chance. Now, obviously, everyone here has that ability, and that's why you are graduating. So I just wanted to say, remember that. Live your life. If there's ever a story to learn, is my story and the story of the New York Giants. That perseverance and all those things will carry you through life, and you never know where you'll end up. Do you think I ever thought I'd end up talking to you? Absolutely not. So on behalf of not just myself, but the entire New York Giants family, organization, everybody, I want to thank you for this award. I want to bring a big hello from the rest of the Giant organization and family. And you know what? You guys are right here on the Field of Dreams. It's a very special place to have your ceremony. And so as you go forward, I say to you, remember, Life is about dreams. You make up your mind to make your dreams come true, they will come true. I am so happy for you. I am so proud of you. I am a New York University giant. Congratulations, class of 2008.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas F. Cooley, Dean of the Leonard N. Stern School of Business, who will present the student speaker representing the graduate and professional candidates.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you Mel Ochoa from the Stern School of Business. Mel Ochoa represents the entrepreneurial spirit in the very best sense of the word. He was already a successful entrepreneur when he joined the Stern School, having co-founded and then sold a thriving technology staffing company. He was selected as a fellow in the prestigious Catherine Reynolds program in social entrepreneurship. And soon after he started his studies, he became the president of Stern's Social Enterprise Association, now one of the most popular clubs in our school. Mel has brought his entrepreneurial spirit to every part of the Stern experience. Under Mel's leadership, the student-run Social Enterprise Association has accelerated the campus greening initiative, has developed an internship fund earmarked for social impact, and in doing so generated heightened awareness in our future business leaders about the significance of social enterprise in general. Such was its success that the club was awarded the 2008 Presidential Service Award. Mel has also left his mark on our curriculum. Beginning this fall, MBA students will be able to take a new specialization in social innovation and impact, an initiative that he spearheaded. Beyond the halls of Stern, Mel worked with the Clinton Foundation to create a training module for small restaurant owners in Harlem, and he led a team of Stern students to New Orleans to help a charter school get back on its feet after Hurricane Katrina. As Mel embarks on his career, he will be the director of marketing for a cluster of charter schools in Brooklyn and Connecticut, where his passion for education, his belief in the social impact of business, and his knack for entrepreneurship will find true expression. It's now my great pleasure and privilege to introduce Mel Ochoa, who will address the graduates, their families and friends, and all of the honored guests here today on behalf of the graduate students graduating this morning.
Good morning, graduates. Thank you, Dean Cooley. I've always appreciated your leadership of the school and your friendship to its students. As I was walking in today in front of Michael Strahan, people were yelling "one more year," and I thought they were saying that to me, so I got a little scared, because I don't want to stay another year, even though it's a great school. I must admit that I am a little nervous today, and I'm having a hard time picturing 30,000 people naked. So why don't we do this? You picture me naked and we'll be just fine. I don't know if that works that way, and it makes me a little more nervous, actually. Welcome President Sexton, graduates, family, friends, faculty, distinguished guests, and those who bought scalp tickets for a Yankees game. As you have noticed by now, I am not Derek Jeter. I know, I get that all the time. If you are holding tickets to a Red Sox game, you are really in the wrong place. If that's the case, I have a few commencement tickets I can sell you, really cheap. Platform tickets. In the house that Ruth built, the Cathedral of Baseball, it is appropriate to consider the giants of Americana, whose numbers line the stadium. Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Maris, Yogi Berra, Reggie Jackson, and others. Jackie Robinson is among that group of numbers, 42, a number permanently retired by Major League Baseball. In a time before the Civil Rights Act, Mr. Robinson ended 80 years of baseball segregation. Both Mr. Robinson and Branch Rickey, the manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time, were innovators. To think that a person should be judged on his talent in baseball rather than race was a new and challenging concept. It was progress. NYU is quite familiar with progress and innovation. Albert Gallatin, Secretary of the Treasury under Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, and NYU's founder, said that the causes of the great increase of wealth in Europe and America are not to be found in the fertility of gold and silver mines in America, but in the general progress of knowledge, skill, and every species of industry, and the consequent improvement of governments, laws, and habits in all that constitutes civilization. At its founding in 1831, NYU was innovative in becoming a university for all and not just the wealthy elite, which became the basis for our motto as a private university in the public service. We are reminded of Gallatin's innovative idea of openness by the absence of gates or barriers to our campus, as well as in our logo of the upheld torch signifying NYU in service to the metropolis. Continuing the tradition of progress and innovation, just steps from Washington Square Park, Samuel Morse perfected his invention of the telegraph in 1838. Not many know this, but his first message was, "Can you hear me now?" NYU's Graduate School of Arts and Science was one of the first of its kind in the country, and the university's Hall of Fame of Great Americans, located on the University Heights campus, established the Hall of Fame concept, eventually modeled in the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. NYU also offered the first version of distance learning with a 1957 CBS series entitled Sunrise Semester. Even more recently, in 1997, an NYU researcher by the name of Kenneth Perlin of the Quran Institute received an Academy Award for his development of Perlin Noise, a visual effect innovation that adds natural appearing textures to computer-generated services in movies. NYU has also acted as a trailblazer in social innovation. For example, the College of Dentistry created the first dental van to treat children and adults in underserved areas, reaching an estimated 25,000 urban and rural children since 2000. In 2006, NYU made the largest purchase of wind power by any U.S. university as part of its overall sustainability efforts. NYU researchers have designed a vaccine that in early clinical trials has protected 65% of children against malaria. Even the Stern School of Business recently introduced a social innovation and impact specialization into its MBA program. Don't get me wrong, you may still call it suits, but now they are suits made of a sustainable bamboo cloth. Bamboo is so fierce. Innovation and progress are alive in this class as well. Brian Levine, a medical student and fellow in the Catherine B. Reynolds Program in Social Entrepreneurship, is introducing technology in Ghana that allows for easy communication between doctors. It is apparent from all of this that NYU is an eternal flame for progress and innovation. The question then becomes, who now carries the torch for this progress and innovation? Your degree is the fuel to act as an agent of change. Textbooks, guest speakers, and sagacious professors have provided a critical framework and starting point. Our NYU experience is not an end in itself. It is a means to innovation and progress in our respective fields. The classroom is our gateway to bold new approaches and ideas in law, medicine, business, education, film, art, journalism, policy, and more. Throughout the course of our programs, we have studied the work has been done before us. Now, what is our value proposition? As graduates of NYU, we are not trained or charged to replicate the work of our predecessors. Instead, we are trained to think critically, creatively, and a sophisticated eye to blaze new trails. Robert Kennedy once quoted George Bernard Shaw in saying, "There are those that look at things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not." Echoing Green, an organization that provides seed capital and support to visionary leaders, publishes a book called Be Bold. In it, the authors submit that at a certain point in your life, you may find yourself pulled toward a path leading to work that will benefit others. If you seize these moments, if you make bold decisions to take action, a different world, a better world, is within reach. The key is to turn these moments of opportunity into concrete action. On a separate front, Achievement First, a charter school organization in Brooklyn and Connecticut, frames innovation as stemming from 1% solutions, meaning that all of us in this stadium have a significant role to play in issues that stretch from other nations to our own neighborhoods, such as empowering the poorest of the poor, providing health care and livable wages for all, eradicating AIDS in Africa, and sending more children to college. Graduates of 2008, as you peer out from the classroom door, or as is more appropriate for Yankee Stadium, make a turn past third base toward the home plate of graduation, you have a sizable opportunity to be bold, innovate, and ask why not. Dr. Emmett Brown in Back to the Future had a similar message when he told a young Marty McFly that your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. Still, Marty's nemesis, Biff, probably had the best advice for graduates in saying, "Make like a tree and get out of here." Congratulations on your achievement.
Ladies and gentlemen, those who are about to receive honorary degrees will now be presented to President Sexton. Diane Yu, Chief of Staff and Deputy to the President, will call upon distinguished members of the university community to present and escort the honorary degree candidates. Assisting with the investiture will be Provost David W. McLaughlin.
Mr. President, I should like to introduce Thomas Frank, Murray and Ida Becker, Professor Emeritus of Law, Adjunct Professor of Law at the School of Law, who will present the candidate for the Doctor of Laws. Will Trustee Evan Chesler please escort the candidate to the lectern?
Thomas Buergenthal, American judge on the International Court of Justice, the World Court. You illuminate and enlarge the foundation of human rights for all humankind. As a survivor of the hell which was Auschwitz and Sachsenhausen concentration camps, you have devoted your life to developing law, institutions, and understanding among nations and peoples. These serve and will continue to serve as powerful obstructions against those who again seek to make genocide banal and ordinary. Miraculously, your experiences in the abyss of inhumanity have burnished your faith in humanity's potential for transcending evil and achieving justice. That faith has brightly illumined the roles you have played as President of the International Court of Human Rights, as American Judge of the International Court of Justice, and as a member of the United Nations Human Rights Committee. A Ruth Tilton Scholar and J.D. graduate of our School of Law, with LLM and SJ degrees from Harvard Law School, you have brought honor to the profession that you have helped to shape. Eminent scholar, professor, and prolific author, your former colleagues and students of the law schools of George Washington University, American University, where you served as dean, the University of Texas, and Emory University, all revere you.
Thomas Buergenthal, you are a mighty exemplar of magnificent intelligence in support of the highest aspirations of humanity as you lead us to a world in which individual freedom and human dignity are fully protected. By virtue of the authority vested in me by New York University, it is my deep pleasure to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
President Sexton, I should like to introduce Deborah A. Hecht, Associate Arts Professor of Speech, Tisch School of the Arts, who will present the candidate for the Doctor of Fine Arts. Will Trustee Constance J. Milstein please escort the candidate to the lectern?
Clearly, I don't have to say much, but Michael J. Fox, a professional. Professional actor in your native Canada. By the age of 15, you moved to Los Angeles 3 years later, and at the ripe old age of 21, began your spectacular TV run as Alex P. Keaton on NBC's Family Ties, earning 3 Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe, and the distinction of being one of the nation's most prominent young actors. Returning to series television in 1996 as New York's Deputy Mayor Michael Flaherty with ABC's Spin City, you were showered with 3 more Golden Globes, another Emmy, a GQ Man of the Year Award, a People's Choice Award, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. Easily moving between television and film, and comedy and drama, you are an international film star, appearing in over a dozen features, including the Back to the Future trilogy, Casualties of War, The Hard Way, and The American President. A fierce a fierce and eloquent force in fighting Parkinson's disease, from which you suffer. You are its major and magnificent philanthropist. Through the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, which you launched in 2000, you have funded over $115 million for research and significantly raised national awareness of the disease. You continue to turn in stellar performances, even as your memoir, Lucky Man, is a national bestseller.
Michael J. Fox, acclaimed actor and revered humanitarian. You are a grand inspiration both on the screen and in your life. By virtue of the authority vested in me by New York University, I am very pleased to confer upon you the honor of the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I should like now to introduce Laura Veldkamp, Assistant Professor of Economics, Leonard N. Stern School of Business, who will present the candidate for the Doctor of Commercial Science. Will Trustee William R. Berkeley please escort the candidate to the lectern?
Indra Krishnamurthy Nui, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of PepsiCo, you lead one of the world's largest convenient food and beverage companies with annual revenues of nearly $35 billion, operating in nearly 200 countries, and employing over 168,000 people worldwide. Named President and CEO in October 2006 and Chairman 7 months later, you had already served PepsiCo in senior management positions for over a decade, directing your company's global strategy with intelligence and energy, discipline and vision. You have promoted the concept of performance with purpose, leading to growth in revenues, responsible environmental initiatives, and a diverse and inclusive company filled with world-class talent. You have been named one of the most powerful women in business by Fortune magazine and by Time as among the 100 most influential people in the world. You have described the job you love as an obsession, yet are known to sing around the corporate offices and insist that as one works hard, one should also have fun. A wise counselor and exemplary citizen, you serve on the boards of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the International Rescue Committee, and Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts. Moreover, in recognition of this day and its historic significance, we proudly salute you as a wild fan of the New York Yankees.
Indra Krishnamurthy Nui, extraordinary executive and brilliant strategist, you rank among the world's most accomplished leaders. By virtue of the authority vested in me by New York University, I am very pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Commercial Science, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I would like now to introduce Timothy J. Rice, Emeritus Professor of Comparative Literature, Distinguished Scholar in Residence, College of Arts and Science, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Letters. Will Trustee Baroness Mariuccia Zerilli Marimo kindly escort the candidate to the lectern?
Ngugi wa Thiong'o, as one of the world's foremost writers and most significant political, social, and cultural thinkers, your role in the development of Gikuyu written culture is foundational. Your place in modern Kenyan culture and politics unique. Your stature in African culture at large and in the world non-pareil. Your highly acclaimed series of novels about Kenya and pre- and post-independence mix lyricism, a deep sense of place, and careful characterization with hard-nosed political and social commentary and polemic and often parodic humor. Your most recent and masterful novel, Wizard of the Crow, explores the fraught relations of artistic and linguistic creation against the exigencies of neo-colonial governments. Your powerful plays explore the idea of a genuinely translinguistic national culture and spark the government's wrath and subsequent imprisonment and exile. A cultural and political critic of immense power, you have shown us what it means to create cultures, to reinstate cultures, and how one may take back one's culture. We proudly claim you as our cherished former colleague and Eric Maria Remarque Professor of Languages at New York University, and salute you as Director of the International Center for Writing and Translation and University Professor of English and Comparative Literature at the University of California, Irvine.
Ngugi wa Thiong'o, novelist, essayist, playwright, journalist, editor, academic, and social activist. For nearly half a century, you have raised your eloquent voice with utmost courage in the cause of democratic and human rights. By virtue of the authority vested in me by New York University, I am very pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I would like to introduce Norman Dorson, Stokes Professor of Law, co-director, Hayes Civil Liberties Memorial Program, School of Law, who will present the candidate for the Doctor of Laws. Will Trustee Judy Steinhardt please escort the candidate to the lectern?
Laurence Henry Tribe, eminent professor of constitutional law, and Carl M. Loeb University Professor of Harvard Law School, one of the nation's foremost authorities on constitutional law and Supreme Court practice. You entered Harvard College at age 16 and graduated summa cum laude in mathematics and magna cum laude from Harvard Law School. National champion and teacher of debate, inventor of the modern flow system of recording arguments, celebrated scholar and professor, you have given us the masterful treatise on constitutional law, American constitutional law, a work stunning in its sweep and substance. Fiercely independent, marching to no other drum but your own, you have been in the vanguard of the nation's struggle for civil liberties, bridging the practical and legal worlds. The late Erwin Griswold, former Dean of Harvard Law School and former Solicitor General of the United States, said, "Professor Tribe has had a greater impact on constitutional law than anyone in the country's history who has not been a member of the U.S. Supreme Court. Lauded also as poet, painter, philosopher, and pragmatist, you have used your formidable intelligence and exquisite eloquence in the deep and devoted service of law and learning."
Laurence Henry Tribe, a principal influence on American constitutional law, you have helped shape a society and a world grounded in democracy, freedom, equality, and the rule of law. By virtue of the authority vested in me by New York University, I take great pleasure in conferring upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to ask Larry Tribe to say a few words on behalf of the honorary degree recipients.
President Sexton, Provost McLaughlin, Professor Dorson, Mom, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great privilege to address you this morning on behalf of today's honorary degree recipients, and a special privilege to do so here in Yankee Stadium's final season, given that I have been an avid Red Sox fan for the past 50 years. If the walls of this historic stadium could talk, what a tale they would tell. Imagine the stories in streaming video. 37 of the 84 World Series. Babe Ruth's winning home run in April 1923, sadly defeating the Red Sox. Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber, defeating Adolf Hitler's prizefighter Max Schmeling in June 1938. Muhammad Ali defeating Ken Norton to defend his heavyweight crown in September 1976. The great rally for Nelson Mandela on June 21, 1990, upon his release from decades in prison in South Africa's Robben Island. Billy Joel's rock concert here the next day. The sold-out concerts of U2 in '92 and Pink Floyd in '94. The memorial service in September 2001 for the victims of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The masses celebrated here by Popes Paul VI, John Paul II, and Benedict XVI. To your grandchildren, today's ceremony will be part of the historic panorama I see in my mind's eye. But what is essential, as the Little Prince reminds us, is invisible to the eye. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What gives this place, this occasion, their beauty, are things unseen. Its history, our history. One runs the risk of weeping a little if one reflects deeply on what that history has meant for those who are here and for those of your classmates and your family and friends who have been taken from us in Iraq or in Afghanistan or on the streets of our cities since you first came to NYU. And so I ask you to reflect for a moment on the unique trajectory of life's events that has brought you to this time and place, and to think for a moment about the path that lies ahead. The great American poet Billy Collins painted what is for me an indelible picture of the past and the future when he called it nothing but an only child with two different masks. The cap and gown you wear today symbolizes those masks. As I reflected on what we five honorands have in common, the similarities that struck me initially were superficial ones. Each of us is an immigrant to the United States. Each of us hails from the humanities as opposed to the sciences. Each of us is over 40, some of us way over 40. What struck me on further reflection, though, was a deeper commonality. Great good fortune, what most would call lucky breaks. To come to this place today, Thomas Buergenthal, who calls himself the lucky child, was fortunate enough to have what it took to survive the concentration camps at Auschwitz and Sachsenhausen. Michael J. Fox is lucky that he has the constitution required to wrestle daily with the challenge of Parkinson's disease. Indra Nooyi is fortunate to have the intellect and personality needed to crash through and remain above a thick glass ceiling to master an American corporate environment without sacrificing her culture, her gender, or her motherhood. Ngugi wa Thiong'o had to endure colonial rule, transcend political imprisonment, and survive a violent and brutal physical attack on himself and his wife in Kenya just 5 years ago. An ideologically motivated attack threatening political liberty and exemplifying worldwide violence against women. And I had the good fortune to survive a childhood as a Jewish refugee in war-torn Shanghai, with my father interned for most of World War II in a Japanese concentration camp, as my mother and I fended for ourselves under the brutal Japanese occupation. Each one of us, aware of the unearned miracle of our survival, has sought to give something back, to leave the world a bit better for having been here, whether by pursuing the path of justice and human rights, or by engaging in literary and artistic creation, or by encouraging basic biomedical research, or by building enterprises sensitive to the needs of the global economy. It seems fitting that Michael J. Fox called his autobiography Lucky Man, and especially fitting that today's commencement ritual, symbolizing your academic survival and that of your families, should take place in the stadium where nearly 70 years ago, Lou Gehrig called himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. In the great farewell speech that he delivered from home plate after receiving his fateful diagnosis of terminal ALS disease. "I might have been given a bad break," Gehrig said, "but I've got an awful lot to live for." If Lou Gehrig could count himself lucky, then everyone in this stadium can celebrate the wonder of what each of us has been given. In part, of course, I have in mind the portals that will be opened by your degree from NYU as a world-class institution of higher learning. In part, I have in mind the privilege and excitement of living at the dawn of a new and brighter era. Graduating as you do today, exactly 250 days before a new president takes the oath of office. But in part, I have in mind something even more basic. 35 years ago, at a conference held in Poland to celebrate the 500th anniversary of Copernicus's birth, the astrophysicist and cosmologist Brandon Carter of Cambridge University first described the anthropic principle, a principle expressing the remarkable reality that the seemingly arbitrary and unrelated fundamental constants of physics and chemistry have exactly the values needed for the universe to produce life. The nuclear weak force is 10 to the 28th power as strong as gravity. In a universe where that force was even slightly weaker, all the hydrogen would turn to helium. The result? No water. In a universe with a nuclear strong force just 2% higher than the one we have, there would be no protons. The result? A universe without atoms. In a universe with a nuclear force just 5% lower than the one we have, there would be no stars. The ratio of the strong force to electromagnetism enables carbon-12 to bind with helium-4 and beryllium-8 during a window of opportunity just 10 to the minus 17th seconds in duration. No such window, no life. The fact that we are alive and can observe the universe implies that the fundamental constants must be just right to make us possible. All of this makes Goldilocks seem like the child's play it is. Now, some of you may take this as a pitch for intelligent design. It's not. It's a pitch perfect for Yankee Stadium for the home run of our shared astonishing good luck. Think about it. If your father and mother had watched yesterday's equivalent of The Wire instead of making love at just the right moment, you would not exist. So thank Mom and Dad for doing it. Your being here, like our being here, is an implausible, serendipitous, miraculous event. I often reread a short poem by the poet laureate Wisława Szymborska. It's called Could Have. It could have happened. It had to happen. It happened earlier, later, nearer, farther off. It happened, but not to you. You were in luck. There was a forest. You were in luck. There were no trees. You were in luck. A rake, a hook, a beam, a brake, a jam, a turn, a quarter inch, an instant. As a result, because although despite what would have happened if a hand, a foot, within an inch a hair's breadth from an unfortunate coincidence. So you were in luck. We all were. And having been given so much, the least all of us can do is to give back. In the end, the Beatles sang, the love you take is equal to the love you make. So ask not why you were spared the Sichuan province earthquake or the tragic Myanmar cyclone. Ask what you can do for the victims of those inexplicable tragedies. Ask not what the new age that is about to dawn can do for you. Ask what you can do for it. Among my favorite sayings is one as true as it is trite. The only things you can take with you are the things you have given away. And so on behalf of we lucky five, whom you so honor today, I give you this parting thought. May all of you give of yourselves. Give till it hurts. Give all you can while you can, to make the planet we have inherited a bit greener, the lot of humanity a bit lighter, the light of the world a bit brighter. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you to all of our honorary degree recipients for being such exemplars of the excellence and the hopes of this university. Let's recognize them all one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, today we convene with ceremony and joy for a rite of passage, celebrating the latest infusion of talent, knowledge, commitment, and energy from NYU into the world. A priceless gift from our university to the future. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2008. Graduates, you and your loved ones live this day as a moment in the unfolding story of your lives. You know a past that has brought you here, a present through which you look to an unknown year and accomplishment ahead, and a future that is full of promise. Those of us who will remain here at NYU live this day in a different way. Even as we share your proud moment in time, even as we gather to say well done and farewell at this commencement, we prepare to greet the incoming class just as we welcomed you a few years ago. On such occasions, we are reminded that you, our students, are a large part of what brings value to our vocation. You and your talent are what inspire us to do what we do. Ultimately, we fulfill ourselves through you. Such is the life of a university. The rich history of NYU now stretches back more than 175 years to the day that Albert Gallatin founded us to be in and of the city. In 1831, New York was a relatively small town. It would be a decade before Alexander Cartwright and others produced the first rules of modern baseball, which was originally known as the New York game. Parenthetically, the best historical evidence is that the very first organized baseball game was played in Greenwich Village, not far from Washington Square Park. With a population of over 200,000, New York had just passed Philadelphia to become the largest city in the country. The United States was still an agrarian society, and the land, in fact, between where we stand and our beloved Washington Square was dedicated to farming. In its first decade, NYU was small. At the first commencement, there were only 3 students. 5 years later, that number had risen to 27. Tuition, brace yourself, tuition was $80 a year. And though NYU was $10 cheaper than Columbia, as usual, we made up the difference by charging $10 for library and incidental fees. The university provided no housing. For those who came from a distance, what was called boarding could be obtained with, quote, respectable private families, close quote, for $3 a week. There was no student newspaper. That's sad. But fraternities and debating societies were an important part of student life. And get this, students were required to attend daily chapel services each morning at 8 a.m. and to do so in academic gowns. Members of each class followed exactly the same schedule of lectures, recitations, and exams. 20 courses were required for a BA degree. There were no electives and no cuts. But different from day one, NYU's story over the decades has been one of constant redefinition, of continuous aspiration, of persistent integration with the city that has become the center of the world. Gallatin and our founders designed a university to capture the fullness of human experience by aligning itself with our city, a city that vitalized even then the hopes and dreams of immigrants. Gallatin's revolutionary notion, a university in and of a great city, defines and shapes the NYU of today. And the singular city we embrace imbues us with special capacities and a special mission. There are other great world cities, but New York is the world's first glocal city, global and local simultaneously. Consider this. Of the 202 countries at the Athens Olympics, 199 of those countries are represented in the New York City public school system by children born in those countries. 140 languages are spoken in New York as the first language of the people speaking them. 40% of the citizens of this city were born in other countries. No other city in the world represents the cosmos and the human condition, its diversity, its complexity, and its aspirations in the way that New York does. Not surprisingly, the distinct opportunities available here attract the extraordinary collection of talents and interests incarnated in the class of 2008. Numbering 15,000, you range in age from 18 to 69. You hail from 50 states and 165 nations. You have won the most prestigious honors available. Nearly 2,500 of you are Founders Day scholars, graduating with grade point averages of 3.5 or higher. And 130 of you have been elected to Phi Beta Kappa. And you are earning your degrees in fields that span the magnificent spectrum of human inquiry, from molecular oncology to folk art studies, from biomechanics to Jewish history, from ocean science to film and drama, from communication studies to geriatric nursing, from early childhood education to prostho-orthodontists. Sharply focused on your academic endeavors, you've nonetheless involved yourself deeply in volunteer activities. You are active in over 400 student clubs that reflect the diversity and depths of your interests in politics, the arts, religion, debate, athletics, and the list goes on and on. A remarkable 86% of you have worked in internships while going to school. And many of you have worked 2 or even 3 jobs, even as you carry magnificently the burdens of being full-time students. And as if to demonstrate the fullness of your experience here, last evening at the street fair we call Grad Alley, you consumed over 10,000 servings of cotton candy, 6,000 bags of peanuts, 7,000 hot dogs, and this being New York, 4,000 knishes. True to Gallatin's vision, as you leave us, you already have experienced and participated in the world you are about to enter. You have learned on one of the greatest human stages available, in a city that is a life force, an incomparable resource, and a constant source of learning. As you left our buildings, you did not pass through a gate or walk on grass. You touched the city and entered the global village that it is. And you have incorporated that village into your very being. Given its history and the wonderful endowment of its location, our university holds a distinctive place in higher education. And you, our graduates, must see in yourselves that light. We live in an era when the great world has grown small. What happens in distant places is known and, more importantly, experienced almost everywhere, by almost everybody, immediately and unavoidably. The central challenge of your collective lives will be developing ways to manage, in this miniaturized world of immediacy, a vast richness of race, of faith, of culture, and of thought. If you are to avoid the kind of destructive balkanization that can threaten to shed the fabric of civility on a global scale, you will be forced to create pathways of comprehension and communication across traditional boundaries. The very concept of New York City and the life of our university stands as a rebuke to those who say that balkanization and fragmentation is inevitable, that we are condemned to a clash of civilizations and separateness. In your years here, you have lived in an NYU community and in a city All right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you, and let's see now if you can do it silently. Let's continue doing it, but if you would, let's do it silently. Thank you. In your years here, you have lived in an NYU community and in a city that foreshadows the best of the world to come. You have developed capacities of openness and curiosity. You have forged relationships that have forced you far beyond yourselves and the comforts and limits of your background. And you have experienced the intellectual richness and the personal growth that can come only in a place that is the world in microcosm. The NYU in which you lived these past few years is a version of the larger world you now inherit, a highly diverse and complex community, in truth, an aggregation of micro-communities. As you leave us, take with you not only the great talent you honed here, but also the experience you had here. And take with you NYU's attitudinal endowment, the central importance of encouraging a spirit of creativity and boldness, a taste for complexity, and a joy of discovering the unknown other. You inherit that attitudinal endowment. In a way, by virtue of your participation in our community and your graduations of today, you are citizens of a special state of the mind, one that bravely looks into the face of our times and challenges and dares us to declare both our independence and our interdependence. Such is the NYU that is a part of your past, your present, and your future. We foresee your achievements, your honors, your contributions, and the difference you will make. We also realize that sometime there will be defeats and setbacks along the way. Either way, we hope you will carry within you the indomitable spirit of NYU. And we want you to know that you are always part of this community, even when not physically present in it. And in those inevitable moments when your spirit flags, we invite you to come home to NYU, to return to it, to its grounds, to its sense of soul, and in doing so, recharge what it has meant to you. Know as well the importance of your returning again and again, the role you play for us in renewing and sustaining our vitality. You are, as I have said, the pride of our vocation. In your years here, you gave so much of mind and spirit and heart to this university, in happy times and on the hardest days. I hope we have given you an education worthy of your talents and aspirations. As I close my remarks on this special and sacramental day for NYU and you, let me offer you, in this temple of our national sport, one final challenge to your wonderfully gifted minds and spirits, one designed for the skeptics among you who doubt the sacredness of the space in which we create a memory for you on this special day. For those who do not understand baseball as a road to God. It is a question. Here are the facts. When Barry Bonds won baseball's Most Valuable Player award in 1991 and 1992, it was the 10th time in the history of baseball that a ball player had won that award in back-to-back years. Not just twice, but in back-to-back years. A wonderful piece of what some call trivia, which in fact creates the epiphany that reveals the transcendent greatness of baseball is that if you made a list of the 9 players who accomplished that feat before Barry Bonds, you would have a list which had on it 1 player from each of the 9 positions in baseball. Only an intelligent God could have caused such a thing to happen. That is, the previous 9 players consisted of 1 pitcher, 1 catcher, 1 first baseman, and so on. Your assignment, the last you will receive in this stage of your NYU career, is to name those 9 players, and to do so without resort to the internet. This is an open book assignment which can be done in groups. The answer will be on my website this afternoon. Congratulations to you and your loved ones from the NYU family, the other family to which you now belong.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Collaborative Arts Project Cap 21 of the Tisch School of the Arts, who will now perform a tribute to New York City and to the graduates of 2008.
I'll take the east side all around town, the west half a block away from St. Bart's, north side, high up in Harlem, south side, and the battery's down. So take me back to Manhattan, NYC, back to the east side, back to the west side, back to the north side, back to the south side. These little town blues
Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Schmidt Campbell, Dean of the Tisch School of the Arts, who will present the student speaker representing the undergraduate candidates.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Robert J. Sukrashan from the Tisch School of the Arts. Bobby has been an outstanding student in the Department of Photography and Imaging, as well as one of the university's first Catherine B. Reynolds Scholars in social entrepreneurship. With 3 other photography and imaging students, Bobby co-founded Immediacy, a community-based media organization dedicated to giving a voice to the marginalized and powerless in our society. Among other projects, Immediacy has produced a photographic documentary about a community of men and women living on the streets of Jackson Heights, Queens. Bobby has received global awards and fellowships, including grants for his documentary photography, recognition as one of 250 young leaders in the world for social innovation, and selection as one of 100 emerging photographers worldwide. Bobby will address the graduates, their families and friends, and all of the honored guests here today on behalf of the undergraduate candidates graduating this morning.
President Sexton, Dean Campbell, family, friends, and fellow graduates. As a visual artist, I never imagined that I would be speaking at a university commencement. Far more unbelievable to me, however, is that 2 diehard Boston Red Sox fans, myself and Laurence Tribe, are being welcomed to offer remarks here on the hallowed grounds of Yankee Stadium. Do not fear, however, I am not here to cause trouble. Regardless of any personal loyalties I may have, I am tremendously honored to be celebrating the accomplishments of NYU's class of 2008, here in this mecca of baseball. The great comedian George Carlin once observed that the beauty of the game of baseball lies in its simple objective: to get home, to cross home plate safely. So, what might a New York City home look like? For me, home during my sophomore year was a decaying 6-bedroom apartment in Chinatown. Whoop. Those familiar with this apartment are probably laughing right now because we were a profoundly eccentric household comprised of a Filipino, a Colombian, a Thai, a Madagascaran, a Long Island Jew, and a long-haired, slow-speaking Oregonian nomad. We had an actor, a filmmaker, 2 photographers, a music producer, a graffiti writer, and a guy in pre-law whom the rest of us artists could not relate to at all. He was also a Yankees fan. Sorry, my hat keeps falling off. He's become one of my closest friends. Our apartment had an excess of subletters of the rodent and insect variety, perpetually clogged bathrooms and leaky ceilings, and we lived below a Chinese dance studio. And every Sunday, without fail, we would all be awakened at 6 a.m. to the sound of gong, gong, followed by several hours of persistent Chinese melodies. Whether you lived in a dorm for 4 years, subletted a room in a rundown Williamsburg loft, or commuted daily from Jersey City, you undoubtedly encountered the idiosyncrasies of living New York. The relentless intensity of this city, its tightly packed, rush hour subway rides, ambulance sirens and deafening garbage trucks zooming by at all hours of the night remind us that home is never a place where we exist alone, but a habitat that we share, made richer by the lives of others. Other people's cultures, belief systems, and ways of life have become integrated into our own homes. And in no place is this phenomenon more apparent than here in New York. Hop on the 7 train to Jackson Heights or Flushing, and you might as well be studying abroad. Walking the city's streets is a lesson in sociology, economics, and multiculturalism, as well as one of alienation and uncertainty. At the same time, in no other place are complete strangers as honest and straightforward about what they think of you as here in New York. To all of the parents in the audience, if you are asking yourselves why you spent a small fortune for your son or daughter to gallivant around New York City for the last 4 years, be reassured, our academic lives were just as intense and eventful. For many of us, our most important memories of life at NYU will be of the close relationships we have formed with professors and other students. I will always remember the many late nights with my colleagues in the dark rooms of the photography department at Tisch. Other parts of our studies directly engage the city that surrounds us, no matter what school or department we hail from. My photography brought me close to a community of people in Queens who taught me that even a street corner can be a home, and a convivial, thought-provoking one at that. See, an NYU education does not just take place in a classroom. It can only be described as layered, constant, complex. We learn from our peers. We learn while in our apartments, in our dorms. We learn from the city and its diverse inhabitants. We have been taught that life need not be dictated by divides, that home can be everywhere. It can even be in the mundane, the alienating, and the disconcerting moments of our lives. Fellow graduates, this home that we have shared for the past several years has become a part of us. And as both Frank Sinatra and the Cap 21 studio just beautifully sang for us, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So as we depart Yankee Stadium today and begin asking ourselves, what's next? Or how am I going to get home? Or as Mel asked, how am I going to be bold? We can find comfort in the fact that we have been changed, that New York City and NYU have opened us up to the world. And they have become our homes. And home is not a destination. It is the journey that we have all undertaken. So remember, rounding the bases of the baseball diamond is just as important as sliding in to home plate. Thank you to all of our friends, family members, and mentors for your support and encouragement, and congratulations to us all. Thank you.
I would now ask the deans of New York University to present the candidates for all degrees and certificates.
Matthew S. Santarocco, Dean of the College of Arts and Science.
President Sexton, on behalf of the College of Arts and Science, the founding school of New York University, I am honored to present to you the 2,218 members of the spectacular class of 2008. They have successfully completed the rigorous requirements for the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees. I have the pleasure of introducing to you the individual who will receive the diploma on behalf of all her fellow graduates, Natalie Coons.
Richard L. Rivez, Dean of the School of Law.
Mr. President, it is with great pride that I stand here to congratulate the law school class of 2008. 1,063 wonderful candidates from the law school will receive their degrees today and go forth to promote rule of law values in the U.S. and around the world. President Sexton, I have the honor to present Tien-Yi Chen, who will receive his diploma on behalf of the 556 candidates for the degrees of Master of Laws and Doctor of Juridical Science. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Ben Kingsley, who will receive his diploma on behalf of the 507 candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor.
Robert I. Grossman, Dean of the School of Medicine. Before presenting the doctoral candidates to President Sexton, Dean Grossman will lead the candidates in reciting the Oath of Maimonides.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine, please rise. Please read the oath along with me. May the love for my art actuate me at all times. May neither avarice nor miserliness nor thirst for glory or a great reputation engage my mind. For the enemies of truth and philanthropy could easily deceive me and make me forgetful of my lofty aim in doing good for my brothers. May I never forget that the patient is a fellow creature in pain. May I never consider him merely a vessel of disease. When wiser men teach me, let me be humble to learn, for the mind of man is puny, and the art of healing is vast. May I have the strength, time, and opportunity always to verify and correct what I have learned and to increase my understanding. May I always be able to discover today's errors of yesterday and to obtain a new light tomorrow on what I think I am sure of today. I have been sanctioned to care for the life and health of man. I am about to fulfill my duties. I am ready for my vocation. Congratulations. Mr. President, in the presence of the prestigious academic community of our university, their fellow graduates, their parents, spouses, relatives, and friends, the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine have accepted the awesome responsibility for the health care of our fellow humans. Mr. President, the 154 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine who have completed with distinction the rigorous and demanding education and training programs of our School of Medicine stand before you. They are highly qualified to accept the responsibilities of our profession. As Dean of the School of Medicine, I am happy to present these outstanding men and women, the future leaders of our profession, for the conferment of their degree of Doctor of Medicine. It is my honor to present Tom J. Kim, who will receive the diploma symbolically on behalf of these graduates. Will the graduates please be seated? Thank you. In addition, Mr. President, we are proud to celebrate the 10 graduates of our new Masters of Science in Clinical Investigation program. This master's degree, conferred by the School of Medicine, prepares physicians for academic careers in translational research, translating discoveries from bench to bedside and from bedside to practice. These physician scientists are trained to bridge the gaps in research among basic, clinical, and population scientists. I am most pleased to present Dr. Gabrielle Gold von Simpson, who will receive the diploma on behalf of the graduates of this program. Congratulations to you all.
Charles N. Bertolami, Dean of the College of Dentistry.
Mr. President, it's my distinct honor to present to you the New York University College of Dentistry and the College of Nursing classes of 2008. I present to you the 63 candidates for the degree Associate in Applied Science in the field of dental hygiene. These candidates are represented by Ms. Yelena Karkas. It's now my privilege to present to you the 259 candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree. Ms. Lila L. Percival from the College of Nursing will receive her diploma on behalf of the baccalaureate candidates. Next, I present to you Ms. Kelly M. Nealon, who has been selected by the faculty to receive the Master of Science degree in Nursing Administration on behalf of our 124 master's candidates. Congratulations. Finally, I present to you the 343 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery, as well as the 9 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree. Dr. Matthew Walla will accept his DDS degree on behalf of the doctoral candidates.
Malcolm N. Semple, Vice Dean of the Graduate School of Arts and Science.
President Sexton, I have the honor of presenting the Graduate School of Arts and Science class of 2008. This morning, many of our graduates have joined Dean Catherine Stimson to celebrate our convocation at Avery Fisher Hall. Dean Stimson sends her regrets for not participating at Yankee Stadium. It's my privilege to convey the message that this year's class includes 68 candidates for the Advanced Certificate, 1,352 candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Fine Art, and Master of Philosophy, and 378 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. These students come from the Graduate School of Arts and Science, the College of Dentistry, the Courant Institute of Mathematical Sciences, the Institute of Fine Arts, the Sackler Institute of Basic Medical Sciences, and the Tisch School of the Arts. Our students truly are the researchers, scholars, teachers, and artists of the future. And now, representing the 1,352 candidates for the master's degree, Stuart Oliver Walker from the Draper program. And representing 378 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Alexei Kupstov from the Department of Mathematics.
Mary M. Braybeck, Dean of the Steinhardt School of Culture, Education, and Human Development.
To present 2,435 undergraduate and graduate candidates who received their degrees in education, psychology, health, media, music, and the arts. Mr. President, I have the great honor to present Marissa Crone, who will receive her diploma on behalf of 667 candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Mr. President, I have the great honor to present Ji-Young Yoon, who will receive her diploma on behalf of 1,661 candidates for the master's degree. Mr. President, I have the distinct privilege to present Tony Hawkins, who will receive his diploma on behalf of 107 candidates for the doctoral degree.
Sally Blount Lyon, Dean of the Leonard N. Stern School of Business, Undergraduate College.
Mr. President, I present 663 outstanding candidates from the Stern School of Business, Undergraduate College, who will receive their Bachelor's of Science degrees today. Educated in the science of building strong organizations and unleashing the power of markets, they have the intellect and tools to change the world. I have the honor to present Ivan Brown, our valedictorian, on behalf of his class.
Thomas F. Cooley, Dean of the Leonard N. Stern School of Business.
Mr. President, I have the very great honor to present the candidates from the Leonard N. Stern School of Business. 1,123 dynamic, polished candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from 58 countries who will build the future wealth of this nation and the future endowment of this university. 15 gifted and accomplished candidates for the degree of Master of Philosophy, and 26 brilliant and innovative candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, who will shape the research agenda for the coming generation. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Mr. Amir Caspi, who will receive his diploma on behalf of all the candidates for the MBA. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Ebony Bridewell Mitchell, who will receive her diploma on behalf of all the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Robert S. Lapiner, Dean of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies.
Mr. President, I have the distinct honor and privilege of presenting to you 1,268 individuals of exceptional merit and determination, the 2008 graduating class of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies. They came to NYU seeking their associate, baccalaureate, graduate certificate, or master's degrees to study at SCPS in a nurturing learning network drawing upon academic scholarship and industry expertise. Many have completed their studies while balancing full-time careers and family responsibilities, making their accomplishments all the more noteworthy. They represent the future of many professions that define New York and its place in the world. I speak for our faculty and staff in saying that we are proud of each and every one of them. Mr. President, we have 49 students receiving their associate degrees from SCPS this year. On behalf of all of our associate degree candidates, I am honored to present to you Mansura Adams, who receives the Associate in Arts from the Paul McGee Division. Mr. President, this year the SCPS baccalaureate class has 328 graduates from the Paul McGee Division and the Preston Robert Tisch Center for Hospitality, Tourism, and Sports Management. On behalf of all of our bachelor's degree candidates, I am honored to present to you David Terranella, who receives the Bachelor of Science in Sports Management. Mr. President, the School of Continuing and Professional Studies is proud to announce that this year's graduate class numbers 891, 170 recipients of graduate certificates, and 721 individuals who have earned Masters of Science and Masters of Arts degrees across 15 distinct professional fields. On behalf of all of our graduate certificate and master's degree candidates, I am honored to present to you Oliver Alexander Sohn, who receives his Master's of Science in Real Estate. Congratulations.
Ellen Shaw, Dean of the Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service.
Mr. President, I am truly honored to present to you the extraordinary 2008 graduating class of the Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service. Craig Swaysgood, President of the Wagner Student Association, led representatives of Wagner's 351 degree candidates into the stadium. Wagner graduates lead change, span sectors, and shape policy locally, nationally, and globally. I have the honor to present Rohini Vagarali, who will receive her diploma on behalf of our candidates for master's degrees in public administration and urban planning. She is truly an outstanding representative of our master's students. I also have the honor to present Ariel Saltzman, who receives his diploma on behalf of our candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree. Congratulations, Ariel. Mr. President, I proudly present the 2008 graduating class of the Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service.
Suzanne England, Dean of the Silver School of Social Work.
Mr. President, it's my pleasure to present to you the 525 candidates from the Silver School of Social Work who will receive their degrees today. They leave here today deeply committed to helping people better care for themselves and each other, enhancing the caring capacity of communities, and through social action and advocacy, promoting the ideals of a humane and just world. Representing the students who will receive their Bachelor of Science degree today is Yumi K. Nam. Receiving her degree as a representative of those receiving their Masters of Social Work degree, I present Jennifer Herper. And receiving his diploma on behalf of the 18 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree is Evan Seinrich.
Mary Schmidt-Campbell, Dean of the Tisch School of the Arts.
President Sexton, I proudly present to you the Tisch School of the Arts class of 2008. These are the over 1,290 fabulous writers, recorded music artists, dancers, actors, designers, photographers, filmmakers, musical theater writers, composers, lyricists, interactive media artists, preservationists, policymakers, scholars of performance studies and cinema studies who hold a mirror to the world to give us a glimpse of the human heart and the human spirit. President Sexton, I am pleased to present Brian Campbell of the Department of Dance, who will receive the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree on behalf of the undergraduates. A university scholar, Brian is graduating with a perfect 4.0 grade point average. President Sexton, I'm pleased to present Strahan, also of the Department of Dance, who will receive the Master of Fine Arts degree on behalf of the graduate students. A graduate of Louisiana State, where she majored in French, Lori is not only a captivating performer and creative choreographer, she was a leader in the Tisch School Department of Dance.
Suzanne L. Wolford, Dean of the Gallatin School of Individualized Study.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Gallatin School of Individualized Study, I am proud to present the creative and accomplished group of bachelor's and master's students to you, the Gallatin class of 2008, 443 in number. These students have individually designed their concentrations, creatively and brilliantly completed their colloquia and their master's theses, and concluded their studies with excellence and with panache. They stepped outside commonly defined fields of study when they chose to undertake an individualized course of study, and they lived up to the promise of their challenging plans. Mr. President, they are border crossers and boundary questioners. As they leave the university, they will continue testing conventional ideas and expectations and inventing creative and individually defined new answers. Mr. President, they are ready to hit hard the curve balls. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Nicholas Bernard Berger, who will receive his diploma on behalf of 386 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Adam Robert Hoke, who will receive his diploma on behalf of 57 candidates for the degree of Master of Arts.
Fred Schwartzbach, Associate Dean, General Studies.
Mr. President, 387 extraordinary candidates from the General Studies program will receive their degrees here today. Mr. President, I have the honor and privilege to present Whitney Amber Petrie, who will receive her diploma on behalf of the candidates for the Associate of Arts degree.
Robert Byrne, Senior Vice President for Health.
Mr. President, 16 candidates from the Master's Program in Global Public Health will receive their degrees here today. The Global MPH is the first 5-school university degree at New York University. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Aisha Ali, who will receive her diploma on behalf of the candidates for the Master of Public Health degree.
Ladies and gentlemen, Provost David W. McLaughlin.
We now proceed to the formal conferral of degrees. In keeping with the tradition of New York University, we highlight this most important moment in our ceremony by passing of the torch, the symbol of learning, from a senior member of our academic community to the most junior. On stage now, holding the university torch, is Professor Helene M. Anderson of the Faculty of Arts and Science. As President Sexton confers the degrees, the torch will be passed to the youngest member of the graduating class, Hassan J. Altaf of the Gallatin School of Individualized Study. May I ask all the candidates for degrees and certificates to now rise for the conferring of the degrees in course by President Sexton.
Members of the class of 2008, through your successful efforts as certified by the recommendations of your deans, you have met the requirements of your respective schools and thus deserve to receive this hallmark of New York University. Therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of New York University, I admit you to the degrees and certificates for which you have been recommended. Congratulations.